Would everyone please rise? I'd like to invite Casey Busseri to come up and give the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as we ask Brittany Padula to perform the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And please remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Randall Lassiter.
Let us pray. Gracious Father, we thank you and we give you all the praise, honor, and glory. We ask, oh God, now that you come into this place, and we ask that you would join in this commencement. We thank you, Lord God, for this place of higher learning, Passaic County Community College. We thank you for its board of chosen freeholders. We thank you for the board of trustees, the administrators, staff, and support staff, and all those who make this institution one of the best in this country. Continue, O God, to come and be with us in this time of celebration. Bless the president and his office and his staff as we continue, O God, to carry out the work that you've called them to do. And then, Father, we ask on this celebration, this commencement today, that you wrap your loving arms around the graduates. Have them to continue to fulfill their visions, goals, and dreams. Now, Father, come. We invoke your presence into this celebration. Now, Father, we thank you for everything that you've done. And we thank you for everything you're going to do. But we thank you most of all just for being God. Amen.
And please be seated. Well, I've never got to say this at a commencement before. Good afternoon. So, okay, you look very serious out there. Are you scared? Or you shouldn't be. This is a big day for you. I should see big smiles on all your faces. All right, that's better. You look a little, Well, welcome. This is very new to us. You guys are making history today as the first class ever to graduate in January from this college. Just so everybody knows, we have 3 times a year where you can be certified as a graduate, where you've met all the requirements for graduation. You could do it at the end of August, you could do it at the end of December, and the majority do it in May. But forever, since the beginning of the college, we've had one ceremony in May every year to celebrate our graduates. But now we said we're going to try something different, and we're going to do a ceremony in January and do a ceremony in May. So you are the first, and you should be very honored to be that. So there are 300 and about, they kept coming in as recently as today. So we think there's about 340 graduates right now who are graduating. When I was coming down here, up in my office, we have, every time the newspaper does an article about graduation, we hang them on the wall. We've got them for probably 25 years hanging up there. So I was looking at it. It's just I was coming out now, and I saw the one from 2002, and we had 276 graduates total for the entire year in 2002, which was not that long ago. So we've come a long way, having over 300 in January. So that's great. If you look behind me, these are the flags where you were born. There are 24 flags up there, and if you look at your program, it tells you what flags they are. These represent all of the places where these graduates were born. And everybody see your flag up there? Okay. So we know for many, so usually when we do this in May, I have all kinds of statistics about the class. So this is a little different because it's January, but I did look at one thing about you. We have 6 of you out there who began their studies at this college in the 1990s. We have 43 of you who started between 2000 and 2009. Okay, but here's the biggie, and where's Michelle Softly? There she is. Okay, she said it before as we were walking in. We have 97 students who started here in 2017. And faculty, you know what that means. You've been working hard to get students basically out in the minimum amount of time that it could take to get a degree. So that is something we're incredibly proud of. All of you today have met all of the requirements for graduation, including taking the college writing exam. Okay, usually when I say college writing exam, I get moans and groans and all kinds of things like that, but okay, we are incredibly proud of your accomplishment. This is a big deal for all of you. We hope that doing this in January is something that gives you some sense of fulfillment. And how many of you are going on, or how many of you are already transferred to another college? And how many are just starting this semester at another college? And how many are going to start in the fall at another college? All right. And how many of you have got a job? All right. Well, one more thing we're going to do before we get started. We've got a lot of people here who have supported you because we know that getting here tonight was a big deal. And it took a long time and it took a lot of hard work. So we're going to ask you to thank all of your friends, relatives, and everything who are here who have supported you all along this journey. And now I'd like to introduce the chairman of our Board of Trustees. He has done many of these before, and we are so pleased that he is still our chairman of our Board of Trustees, Harvey Nutter.
Good afternoon. On behalf of myself, Vice Chair Barbara Tanis, and the Board of Trustees of the Passaic County Community College, we congratulate you. And, you know, Steve, Dr. Rose, he wanted you to thank those that are behind you, but it's a little idiosyncrasy of mine. I like everybody to stand up, turn around, and those are the people that supported you. Now turn back around to my right and your left. Please face those group of people over there. Now turn to my left and your right and thank those people over there. Because they are the ones that put up with you. And because they put up with you, look where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations and God bless.
And also, you can sit down now. You don't have to stand the whole time. That's okay. And also, I want to introduce from our Board of Trustees, we have, as Chairman Nutter said, we have Barbara Tanis, a Vice Chair of our Board of Trustees, who is here. We have Carlos Rodriguez, who is our County Superintendent of Schools in Passaic County, also a member of our board. And we have Jennifer Greco, who's the alumni representative to the board, who not so long ago was right out there with you. So. Well, one of the things that makes this college very, very special is the fact that we are here in the greatest county in New Jersey, which is Passaic County. And one of the reasons we are so happy to be in Passaic County is the fact that we have a group of individuals who are our county government who do an absolutely fabulous job of supporting this college and all things for Passaic County residents. And this individual, Freeholder John Bartlett, who is here today, just came off being Freeholder Director last year and did an absolutely fabulous job, and we are so thankful for him for being here today. Freeholder Bartlett.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rose, trustees, Dr. Kanivi. Good morning to the first graduating class of 2020. And good morning to all those proud parents and loved ones out there in the stands as well. I'm Freeholder John Bartlett, and on behalf of myself and all my colleagues on the Board of Chosen Freeholders, congratulations. This is a special ceremony that we're trying for the first time, a mid-year graduation for students who've satisfied their degree requirements without having to stick around for the spring semester. I'm excited. Let me know afterwards if you think it worked well. But whatever time of year it is, whatever the weather outside it is, today is your graduation day, and that makes this a special day, and I hope you each savor every moment of it. Your freeholders are proud to be continually investing in Passaic County Community College. It's already an award-winning institution, recognized as one of the finest in our region of the country. But in partnership with Dr. Rose and your trustees, and with your exceptional faculty and staff, we're always trying to do more. Some examples of that are visible to you: new admissions facilities, improved classrooms, new equipment. Others are less visible, but just as important: new academic programs, not just here, but in satellite campuses in Passaic, Clifton, and Wanacue. Partnerships with community organizations, businesses, employers, and four-year colleges to provide more and better professional and educational opportunities for you. And our ongoing efforts as your advocates in Trenton and Washington to increase funding for community colleges and to reduce the burden of college cost and debt for you and your families. But none of those is the most important investment that happens in this place. The most important investment is the one that you have made, each of you, in the education that you received here, your investment of time, energy, and intellect, the connections you've built with your colleagues and your teachers, long hours of study. Those are the investments that will redound to your benefit for the rest of your lives. And that, by the way, is what I hope you take away as the key lesson of your time here at the community college. It's your personal investment of time and energy in whatever you do that will change your life. Everything that comes after this will be a reflection of your investment in it. With that in mind, I want to share two brief guidelines for everything that comes after today. I had the privilege of attending college and an excellent law school, but these two lessons, more than the fancy degrees on my wall, are what brought me to where I am now, standing in front of you on this stage. First, no matter how small the job is, give it your all. Now, that sounds easy to say. Give it your best, do your best work all the time, but it's not always that easy. As you move into your career in the coming years, you're going to be asked to do some menial tasks, filing, alphabetizing, the prep work or cleanup work for your boss, whether that's in a corporate boardroom or a busy restaurant kitchen. You will resent it, and you'll think it's beneath you. You'll think it's a hindrance to get where you're trying to go, but in fact, it's an opportunity. Because from the standpoint of your career, there are no small tasks. Being the person who your boss and your colleagues can count on for quality work, no matter how tedious, will be what opens doors and creates opportunities for you. Do a half-assed job, and that'll be your reputation. Excel, even at the stuff that's unglorious, and that will be your reputation. Here's an example. Very early in my law career, I was part of a team of lawyers whose job it was to train other lawyers to protect voting rights on Election Day. The other lawyers on the team were very senior to me. They did the big stuff. Their names and their law firm's names were on the binders that we handed out to everyone. Almost 200 pages of material for each lawyer that we trained. And me, I was responsible for one page of that binder. My page summarized an obscure provision of federal law where the rules for someone who registered to vote by mail are different from the rules for someone who registered to vote some other way. It was not my most glorious moment, and I was not particularly excited about it. I was a hotshot young lawyer with a degree from Harvard. Like on Law and Order, I wanted everyone to hear that dunk-dunk when I walked into the room. And my little page in that big binder, I was not feeling the dunk-dunk. But I gave it my all, and my one little page opened doors. The Democratic Party decided that that legal principle I'd explained might be important enough to make a difference in the 2004 presidential election here in New Jersey. So they sent me to college, to Chicago for more training and asked me to work for them on Election Day. And 4 years later, when the Great Recession hit and I lost my job, I landed on my feet because one of the lawyers I'd impressed with my one little page remembered my work and hired me. I ended up working on cases for the Democratic National Committee and developing a practice that has included a United States Senator and numerous other public officials among my clients. The story of that little page continues to today because last month I became New Jersey campaign counsel for a candidate for President of the United States. I'll let you guess which one, but he or she is still in the race. All the steps along that path started with that one little page in that impossibly large binder. Being that person that can always be counted on, who doesn't have to be supervised to get things right, who invests in even the small tasks. As you go through your career, that will be what opens the next door for you. Lesson number 2, never stop networking and find ways to keep in touch with the people that you meet. Just like you never know what menial task will distinguish you, you never know what random personal or professional contact might change the course of your life. This story is my wife's story. It was 1997. Was anybody here even born then? A few, thanks. We got a little sympathy wave from the front row. So it's 1997, and my wife's in grad school. She's not even my wife yet. Not even my fiance even. I'm working in Washington, D.C., and we get invited to give a presentation to a student conference in Boston, a conference on grassroots activism for students of color. So we schlepped up to Boston, invested time in our presentation, brought copies of books and materials we liked, really went all in. Well, the conference was a complete bust. 3 people showed up to our presentation, 3. But one of them was a student from the University of Connecticut, who liked what my wife had to say about race and religion in the South Asian community. So he invited her to come to Connecticut the next semester and give a speech. And there she met a few more young scholars in her field, and they kept in touch. Fast forward 4 more years. Now she's my wife. She finishes her doctorate degree. And wouldn't you know it, one of the people she'd impressed in Connecticut was then at Columbia University in New York City. So my wife's first job out of grad school was teaching in the Ivy League. All because of a connection at a failed conference that led to another connection that led to another. We could not have foreseen that in a million years. but it changed the course of our lives. Sitting here today, you don't know what that connection will be for you. You don't. Even if you think you do, you don't. It might be your favorite professor. It might be your least favorite professor. It might be someone at your mosque, church, or temple whose name you don't even know yet. It might be a totally random person who pings through your life for a moment. It might be me. Maintain those connections. Care for all those tiny threads that tie you to all the people that come through your life. And keep connected to us here in Passaic County too. Stick around. If you go away, come back, because we are some of those connections for you, and we want to succeed together. And we are very, very proud of you today. Thank you.
So at every graduation, I have the pleasure of introducing the valedictorian. This graduation is truly special because we have two valedictorians, both with 4.0 GPAs, and a salutatorian that has a 3.98 GPA. So fortunately for us, we're going to hear from all three graduates, and I want to start first by introducing Rebecca Cray. Rebecca, would you come forward? And I want to tell you something about Rebecca, and I also want to say that I know Dad and her sister are in the audience over here someplace, so if you could give us a wave. There they are. Okay. Okay. So Rebecca hails from Ringwood, New Jersey. She is graduating with an AS in Business Administration with a 4.0, highest honors. She is a member of Phi Theta Kappa. Rebecca is a very talented artist. She won awards for art throughout elementary and high school. It came easy to her. Whatever tools were put in front of her, she made art. But when it came to going to college, she didn't know what to do. She chose PCCC because it was the best financial decision, and she found a kindred spirit in her fellow students who made the same decisions. She chose business administration to ensure her financial future. Rebecca graduates with an Associate in Science in Business Administration, Accounting, Management, and Marketing option with a perfect 4.0. She received highest honors, and she's a member of Phi Theta Kappa. She earned both a Phi Theta Kappa and a presidential scholarship at William Patterson University, where she is now continuing her studies to become a CPA. While Rebecca thinks her true talent is art, I think the decisions that she has made about her education show how she has a wonderful business mind. Welcome, Rebecca Kay.
Thank you, Dr. Kinevi, for the introduction. And thank you, Dr. Rose, faculty, and staff for putting together the first ever winter commencement ceremony. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rebecca Cray. Before I started attending PCCC, I imagined community colleges as the last resort to anyone who wanted to gain a college education. I thought that the education I was going to receive was subpar, and I was okay with that because of how inexpensive it really was. But I was wrong. Soon enough, I realized that PCCC was the opposite of what many believe. Unlike other prestigious institutions, the professors here invest their time and their interest into us. Our professors have their own ideas, and most importantly, are not swayed by what society wants us to be. Instead, they focus on how we can be a difference. Professors, we appreciate your time, effort, and patience. Personally, I would like to thank Dr. G and Professor Karani. Thank you. Thank you for seeing beyond the student and showing us our fullest potential. I would also like to thank two friends I met here, Geminette, who proves it is never too late for success, and Vanessa, who always kept me positive in my weakest moments. I would also like to thank my husband, Jesus, for putting me first, for enabling me to pursue an education and grow without limitation. Regardless, we all have one thing in common, being here right now. We are here because we are determined to better ourselves by overcoming our individual struggles that define how, when, or if we can reach the next step to our own success. We all have proved to ourselves that the struggles life puts in our way has not and will not stop us. Because when we act like eagles, we can all succeed. And yes, I did say eagles. It is said that eagles can foresee when a storm is approaching long before it breaks. Instead of hiding, the eagle will fly to a high point and wait for the winds to come. When the storm hits, it sets its wings so that the wind can pick it up and lift it above the storm. While the storm rages below, the eagle soars above it. The eagle does not escape or hide from the storm. It instead embraces it and uses the storm to lift itself higher. So be like an eagle. Do not hide from the storm. Face it and learn from it. Use your struggles to lift yourself higher and higher. Do not let your struggles define you. Instead, take each one as a lesson. You will find yourself above the storm, overcoming the challenges you face. Today, we have proven that we can rise above the storm. We have taken a step forward to better ourselves, our families, to grow and make a better life for our children, and to ultimately promise a better future for those to come. We must rise and take the next step towards our own success. Like Haruki Murakami once said, and once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. And that is what the storm is all about. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce our second valedictorian, Bitol Hamadi. Could you come forward? Bitol is from Clifton, New Jersey. She'll be receiving an AS in biology with a 4.0 GPA. And I understand Mom and your brothers are in the audience. If you can give away right there. Okay. Congratulations. And let me tell you a little bit about Batul. She was born in the U.S. and lived here until 5. Wanting to ensure that the family spoke fluent Arabic and understand their heritage, her parents moved the family to Syria. She lived and studied there until age 12 when they moved back and she spent middle school here. Her family then moved to Turkey where she spent her 3 years of high school. Each move required her to study a new language and adapt to a new culture. She speaks 3 languages. When she wanted to attend college in the U.S., she came to PCCC. She earned her Associate in Science and Liberal Arts Biology option with a perfect 4.0. She earned highest honors and is a member of the STEM program, where she was selected to serve as a tutor in chemistry. She also received several scholarships and is now attending Rutgers Newark with her goal of becoming a dermatologist. Batul came here hoping that PCCC will open doors for her, but I think it's Batul who also opened those doors.
مساء الخير جميعاً. إياك شملار هركزة. Good evening, everyone. President Rose, Vice President Dr. Kanavi, Deans, Board of Trustees, faculty members, staff, family, friends, and the graduating class of Passaic County Community College. I am very honored and grateful to stand here as valedictorian of Applied Sciences. My name is Betul Hamadi, and I was a biology major student. I'm a Syrian American citizen. I was born and raised in the United States until the age of 5. I have faced many hardships and struggles, and was dragged to different countries and forced to learn new languages because of my parents' value of culture and religion. I spent the rest of my formative years in Syria, my home country. There, the educational system differed greatly, and it took many private tutors that helped me to learn the Arabic language and understand my coursework. Unfortunately, it was even more difficult since my parents decided to make me skip a grade without having a foundation of other subjects. March 15, 2011, a memorable date for all Syrians, my family decided to leave the country and settle back in the United States to pursue a better future and education for us. At that time interval, I was only 11 years of age. Although it took a while to adjust to schools here, I was performing great in middle school, making the honor roll student list every year. During my last 3 years of high school, my family went through financial struggles. My inner peace was yet again disturbed by my dad's decision to move to Turkey. There, I attended schools with Syrian refugees to learn and comprehend the Turkish language. I spent endless nights crying and complaining to my parents about my academic status. When I knew I could not do anything about it, I decided to ignore my feelings and just try to adjust by accepting my fate. I also started preparing for my SAT college exam toward my senior year in high school, so I could apply to international universities in Turkey. My hard work and efforts paid off at the end. I ended up achieving a score of 1200 out of 1600 that I'm very proud to announce, despite the lack of formal instructional learning and guidance. Ultimately, I simply wanted a stable life so I can be able to plan my future. But somehow, at the end of each stage, I managed to survive and provide my best, proving I could overcome all disadvantages thrown at me. As an inquisitive person who believes that we learn new things every day and that the learning capacity has no limits, it made me eager to learn new things and explore the world around me. Eventually, I never thought I would be able to attain my preferred education at a community college. I always thought it would delay my academic success. However, my experience here was totally different from what I expected. I flourished and learned a lot here. This institution has contributed to a huge part of my success and opened doors to receiving many scholarships, great opportunities, and transferring to my current four-year university at the School of Arts and Science at Rutgers University. All of the hardships, all of the struggles that I have been through has shaped me into the person that I am today. It has strengthened my character and emphasized my passion for learning and achieving my career goals. It reminds me of what I'm here to accomplish and my real purpose. My prayer is that you will take a lesson out of my story and allow it to encourage you to always push yourself to the fullest. Congratulations to all the graduating students at this winter 2020 commencement ceremony. We finally made it. I would like to thank my professors for all their support for the past 2 years. They have witnessed me grow and achieve my academic goals. I would specifically like to thank Dr. Mazalitz, my general chemistry professor, who has inspired my love and passion for chemistry. I would also like to thank Dr. Salih for his meaningful conversations about medical schools and great wisdom. In addition, I would like to thank Chairman Professor Baranowski for helping me with my academic plans so I could graduate on time. I would also like to thank Mr. Bryant, my EOF counselor, for his encouraging conversations, great wisdom, and advice. Last but certainly not least, I would like to thank my loving mom for always having faith in me and for making me value my education more than anything else in life. I stand here today humbled and honored to be a graduate of PCCC. Congratulations, winter class of 2020.
Thank you. I'd like to call now Casey Busiri. to the podium. Casey's our salutatorian from Clifton, New Jersey. He received the AS in Human Services with highest honors, and he's a member of Phi Theta Kappa. And Casey, I understand your mom's in the audience someplace, so if she could just give a wave. So let me tell you a little bit about Casey. Casey's life changed the day he decided he didn't need a cup of coffee. Casey's early life was complicated, and after some personal struggles, he decided he needed to make a change. So one day, on his way to Dunkin' Donuts, he turned around and walked into Passaic County Community College. Casey worked full-time while attending PCCC full-time. He earned an Associate in Science and Human Services with a 3.98 GPA. He's a member of the Men of Color Initiative and Phi Theta Kappa. He has received full scholarship to Rutgers in Newark, where he is continuing his studies to become a social worker. An avid baseball player in his younger years, his goal is to open a nonprofit organization that will help at-risk youth with education and support their athletic involvement. Congratulations, Casey.
First, I would like to say what an honor it is to be standing here. I would like to take a moment to thank a few friends real quick. Andy, I love you, bro. Thanks for rocking out on me in this journey. I'm inspired by your success here at PCC, and I'm proud of you and your accomplishments. Keep on grinding, homie. We're almost there. Anna, what can I say, boo-boo? I did it. All those late night conversations we had when I was working and needed some advice, you were always there, and I'll never forget that. My girlfriend Gabby, who put up with all the no's every time that I said I couldn't go out because I had to study, thanks for understanding and your undying support. Mom, sorry. You deserve the most thanks, and it can only be summed up with one saying from Abraham Lincoln. All that I ever am or hope to be, I owe to my mother. Love you, Mom. I'm a mess, I'm sorry. Took a long time to get here. I'd like to thank all the staff at PCC for always finding the time to guide me in the right direction and always taking a minute for me. I'd like to thank Professor Sanders, Bill Morrison, and the Men of Color Initiative. Because they taught me how to be a better man in society. I'd like to thank Tom Moore for his constant mentorship and guidance, Professor Gasparino, Maria Marte, and Rafael Ramirez for teaching me how to be a better student leader, and Professor D'Arcangelo for guiding me along my career path. I would especially like to take a moment to thank Professor Kelly Bender. Professor Bender was the first person I met when I walked through these doors, and without her caring and compassionate nature, I don't think I would have stayed. See, during my registration, there was an issue, and Professor Bender went above and beyond the call to call a colleague and to get an override so I could register. Without the extra step, I probably wouldn't have registered that day. Probably would have walked away and never looked back. Thanks, Professor Bender. So now the colleague that she called that day, Dr. Norman. See, Dr. Norman played a huge part in my success. She understood where I came from and made me feel welcome that first day. See, where I come from, it's a little different, but then again, maybe not. 4 years ago, when I walked through these doors, I was on a pass from Eva's Village, a local rehab halfway house in Patterson, and I was supposed to be looking for a job. I was a 32-year-old man who had spent most of his adult life homeless, addicted to heroin, and in and out of prison. Dr. Norman understood the position I was in, the limitations I had, and the obstacles I had overcome. And she never once made me feel less than. She always had a smile, an ear for me, and was constantly checking up on me and telling me how proud she was of me. Dr. Norman, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. See, these are the kind of people I met here at PCC. People who go above and beyond their normal job duties just to give a student a chance to succeed. Thank you all. So I stand here before you today humbled by my accomplishment. It took a lot of hard work, motivation, dedication, and discipline to be standing here today. At one point, I was working 2 full-time jobs and studying full-time. There were times that I was up for 3 days straight, no sleeping, living off of coffee and my desire for success. Professors would see me running through the hallways with a cup of coffee in my hand. They would smile, ask how I was doing, knowing that I probably hadn't slept in days. I would stop for a quick chat, and they would always end our conversations with, "Casey, go home and get some sleep." I'd say, "Sorry, can't do it right now. I'm on my grind. Maybe tomorrow." Grin at them and scurry off. So how did I do it? Well, the 3 things that I implemented constantly in this process were motivation, dedication, and discipline. There's days when you have to motivate yourself and push yourself hard to succeed. We should always be our own biggest cheerleader. I had a lot of internal and external motivation, and my internal vision told me that nothing can stop me except for myself. See, oftentimes, people will point at their own limitations and proclaim them to be yours. But that's the thing about limits. They exist wherever you place them. And I place mine behind me. Some days it's not just about self-motivation. It's about motivating others around you to reach their goals. Whether it's a gentle push or keeping a friend in check who seems to be veering off the path. Because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to help each other. Staying dedicated to yourself is a strong trait. Waking up and making the right choice over and over again in every area of your life is hard. It has to be consistent if you want to achieve your goals. Dedication for me looked like not going out with friends so I could write papers, staying up and studying when I haven't slept, walking 4 miles back and forth to work so I could save $4 for a bus. See, I was dedicated to myself and my dream, and I ask you all to be dedicated to your goals. No matter how small or how impossible they may seem to achieve, I promise you, if you are 100% dedicated to your goal, you'll find a way to achieve them. See, discipline is probably the hardest trait to adhere to, but through my journey, I realized it's the most beneficial. Discipline for me was waking up every day and constantly making the right choice, not resorting to my old ways and behaviors, and staying focused on the prize. Discipline. Stay in your lane. So what now? The next level of success, of course. I'm currently attending Rutgers Newark, holding the 4.0 GPA after probably the toughest semester ever. See, 2 weeks into my first semester at Rutgers, I had a heart attack. Not literally, I did. I had a major heart attack and I still got straight A's that semester. The nickname for the type of heart attack I had is the widowmaker, because most people don't survive. When you're sitting on that cold operating table and one of your major organs are shutting down, you stop and think. It made me realize how far I've come and that I have to slow down and enjoy this beautiful ride we call life. Because we never know when our time's up. So after surgery and rehab, I'm back to work full time and preparing to start my next semester. I'm taking 6 classes, so please pray for me. In regards to my career, I have plans on opening up a nonprofit organization aimed at helping children in low-income areas so I can guide them away from the streets and towards a brighter future by offering them positive role models to look up to. I've been doing charity work in Patterson in preparation for this, and this year, for the 4th year in a row, I've orchestrated a charity drive where me and a few of my friends walk around Patterson and hand out hygiene items and hats and gloves to the less fortunate. This year, we were able to help 100 people. It comes full circle. Someone helped me when I was down and out. Now it's my turn. So I'd like to leave you with this. Whatever your goals are, chase them, and chase them hard. We all have what it takes to overcome obstacles and achieve greatness. To my fellow classmates, we did it, and I hope you're proud of yourself. Wherever you head from here, please apply the knowledge and life skills that you learned here at PCCC to better our world. With the climate this country is in right now, we will need strong leaders and innovators to secure a bright future for generations to come. Thank you for your time, and congratulations.
Do you have to do it again?
Will the candidates for the Associate in Arts degree please stand? Mr. President, it is a pleasure for me to present these candidates for Associate in Arts degrees. On behalf of the faculty, I certify that these candidates have met all of the requirements for their degrees, and I ask that you confer upon them the Associate in Arts degree.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority invested in me by the Board of Trustees granted by the State of New Jersey, I hereby confer upon you the Associate in Arts degree with all the rights, privileges, and perquisites thereunto appertaining. I'd like to invite Chairman Nutter. How about help us?
Nicholas Hennessy. Rabia Bargogi. Mariah Kayla Colon. Asil Jamhor. Christine Howard. Leslie Castillo Lopez. Olga Ostayuk. I can't read. Lifredi Graciel Liliana. Guadalupe Barroso. Maria Montenegro. Zachary Castellanos. Shannon Whitney. Abira Marnes. Walid Khan. Marcus Rivera. Carla Lopez Tapia. Alexander Cayetano. Brenda Rios. Christian Velez. Orasol Martinez Reynoso. Helen Gonzalez. Darius Chavez. Allison Zamara. Aisha Hewitt. Aisha Hewitt. Aileen Gutierrez. Sandra Diaz Chavez. Astrid Para. Sarat Saidi. Anelia Waite. Stephanie Quinones. Nicole Isabel Taxtili. Josefina Zaparanes. Christina Thomas. Veronica Moscow. Zana Abdelhas. Vegana Plasencia. Esmeralda Nunez. Jason Ra. Joseph Soto. Jesus Veras. Kitam Asfoyer. Sapphire Torres. Tyler Murphy. Tanya Ferdous. Thank you. Christian Guthrie. Thank you. Keimani Frierson. It's okay. Take your time. Yes. Mhm.
Associate in Arts graduates, please turn your tassels to the left. Congratulations. You may be seated. Will the candidates for the Associate in Science degree please stand? Mr. President, it is a pleasure for me to present these candidates for the Associate in Science degree. On behalf of the faculty, I certify that these candidates have met all of the requirements for their degrees, and I ask that you confer upon them the Associate in Science degree.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority of the Board of Trustees granted by the State of New Jersey, I hereby confer upon you the Associate in Science degree with all the rights, privileges, and perquisites thereunto appertaining.
Batul Hamadi. Rebecca Cray. Casey Busiri. Arina Atalskina. Abdul Khalif Omar. Khadija Kane. Faith Okaka. Carol Doza. Jose Vasquez. Tasnia Chowdhury. Jahura Tani. Chirvan Dawkins. Kenneth Regalado. Brian Trevinos. Christopher Rodriguez. Jesus Alexa Blancos. Samantha Cristal Tiro. Stephanie Abreu. Jules Faxua. Dailies Foster Batista. Luis Miguel Foster Batista. Samia Akhtar. Michelle Melendres. Laura Narona. Thank you. Mauro Rivera. Melody Mejia. Justino Poreca. Wasila Benadaya. Karen Andrea Orcero. Alime Asani. Anwar Atta. Lana Mustafa. Hussein Ahmed. Carlina Plasencia. Sina Zachariah. Katarina Zachman. Ganimet Periucci. Michelle Ramos. Jehan Shahabi. Luis Sotik. Shamira Moses. Nuria Diaz. Jennifer Ruiz. Sophia Tanzim Shama. Sam Carcass. Michelle Chavez. Suzette McDuffie. Elizabeth Cruz Sanchez. Albert Nelzar. Anna Marie Cafaro. Beniki Rodriguez.
Associate in Science graduates, tassels to the left. Congratulations. Will the candidates for the Associate in Applied Science degree please stand? Mr. President, it is a pleasure for me to present these candidates for the Associate in Applied Science degree. On behalf of the faculty, I certify that these candidates have met all of the requirements for their Associate in Applied Science degree, and I ask that you confer upon them this degree.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority of the Board of Trustees granted by the State of New Jersey, I hereby confer upon you the Associate in Applied Science degree with all the rights, privileges, and perquisites thereunto appertaining.
Ernesto Velez. Joanna Acosta. Cynthia Garcia. Christine Solari. Kristen Halker. Jessica Varias. Gypsy Clary Alba. Brianna Nixon. Albarilis Rojas. Rosalie Bencosme. Leonardo Vargas. Veronica Vieira. Marta Sanchez. Cindy Ercolano. Jean Ventura. Alexandra Small. Lakeisha Jones Johnson. Jacinth Hunt. Christian Capayan. Nicholas Freites. Artije Zavis. Ashley Chavez. Nelson Pena. Samuel Gomez Flores. Taramati Persad. Patricia Guskar. Kazia Santos. Catalina Bustamante. Carly Elizabeth Weinberg. Kariga Shahid. Becca Miscalate. Daniel Terrazas. Emmanuel J. Cruz. Leonard Lewis.
Associate in Applied Science graduates, turn your tassels to the left, and congratulations. You may be seated. Will the candidates for career certificates please stand? Mr. President, it is a pleasure for me to present these candidates for career certificates. On behalf of the faculty, I certify that these candidates have met all of the requirements for their certificates, and I ask that you confer upon them the appropriate certificate.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority of the Board of Trustees granted by the State of New Jersey, I hereby confer upon you the career certificate.
You know what?
Siham Tui. Gabriela Mino. Heriberto Muñoz. Tayala Absag. Wendy Vallardes. Crystal Stephanie Rojas. Allison Sarah Beatty. Angel Camacho.
Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to join the faculty and administrators of the college in applauding the winter class of 2020.
That's never been here before. Hi. Are you excited now? Yeah. Yeah. Well, congratulations. This was fun. Well, I'll tell you, I think I heard some of the best speeches tonight by your fellow students that I've heard in a while. So let's give them a round of applause. Actually, I think you heard a couple of great messages tonight from our speakers, and sometimes it's good to remember some of these things. First thing I think you heard is how these folks on these two sides of the table, our faculty and our administrators, played a life in your role while you were here. And I know they got to give some shout outs to a couple of people, but you've got, I know each of you has somebody else who you want to say thank you to. So let's say thank you one more time to these folks. And you heard our freeholder talk about how, you got to stay connected and you got to work. You're members of this family forever. Unlike in the royal family, you can't get out of it. So you're stuck with us. And what that means is we're always here for you. And I don't think a week goes by that we don't have somebody coming back from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, actually, who sometimes they just want to show off all their accomplishments, which is great. And sometimes they just need a little advice or a little help from some of the faculty who helped them along the way. So a lot of this help you've had up to this point doesn't have to end now. So, we're here for you for a long time. Each of you got one of these things, and in a couple of weeks, we'll mail you what goes inside of it once we get all that done. And, this is a big deal. Only 30% of the adults in this country have a college degree. So you're joining a pretty elite club here. And you probably weren't listening to anything I said before, but when I do these things with degrees, I talk about rights and privileges that you've got when you get one of these. And there's a whole lot of rights, privileges, and there's a whole lot of responsibility. You've got a lot to do now. You got to make sure you give back in some way. You got to vote. How many of you are registered to vote? Not enough. How many of you actually vote? Not enough. Okay? That's, college graduates vote. We need you to do that. And there's a lot of things we need you to do. So, I know just from hearing your fellow classmates, I don't think you need a lot of motivation. You've done a lot already, and you're going to keep doing it. And at the other side of the building right now, I think we've got a couple of 1,000 pounds of chicken wings and all kinds of stuff ready for you. So let me say one more time, congratulations.
I'd like to ask Reverend Kathy Reicher to give the benediction, and I ask the audience to please stand for the benediction and remain in your seats until the academic procession has left the hall.
Let us pray. Eternal Creator and Sustainer of the universe, we honor and adore Thee and give Thee thanks for your presence being with us today. The sacred text states that it is you who gives wisdom, and from your mouth comes knowledge and understanding. It further states that wisdom will come into our heart and knowledge will be pleasant to our soul. The sacred text goes on to tell us that it was you who formed our inward parts, and because of that, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works that I know very well. So as these precious graduates go forth into the world, I ask that you be with them, that you guide them, that you protect them, that you give them assurance in the days to come, that you know the plans that you have for each one of them. Plans for their well-being, to prosper them and not to harm them, to give them a future filled with hope and an expected end. This is your declaration for them, even before the foundations of the world. Now, God, we offer a final thanks to the one who is seated in heavenly places. We are thankful for the events that we have all witnessed here today. We thank you for better days and brighter futures. We thank you for the wisdom and knowledge that has been imparted to our graduates by dedicated, loyal, and committed faculty who believes in academic excellence, and by administrators and staff who helps to support our students in reaching both their educational and career goals. We ask that your richest benedictions will be upon our President, Dr. Rose, our Vice President, Dr. Kenevi, our deans, Board of Trustees, Board of Chosen Freeholders, faculty, staff, and the graduates of our first annual winter commencement ceremony. May the Lord bless you and keep you, protect you and watch over you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious, kind, and favor you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen, Amen. Amen.